Well, welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and we've got the qualifying final between Darwin Buffettes and St Mary's in this 2020-21 TIO NTFL Women's Premier League competition. My name's Liz Cruz, and joining me in the commentary box today, I've got Heidi Thompson and Stu Davis, as always, the dream team. Heidi, awesome game coming up ahead of us again.
Oh, yeah, that game we just saw witnessed prior to this game here has set the benchmark pretty high. But I expect this game to be also strong and competitive. I think Buffs might have the wood over Saints today just in the way of firepower. But it's a final and you never know what teams are going to throw at the opposition.
We've got Stu Davis to get us underway.
Tanya Dew in the ruck for Buffs as normal, wins that hit out. And they get the first clearance. Ball comes down towards half forward now. Picked up nicely there by Ellis. Got the hand pass across to Roberts. Roberts by hand to Dew. Dew kick off the side of the boot somewhat, but Remfrey gets on the end of it and plays on straight away. Kicks long into the forward line and coming in, taking the mark down there for Buffs.
Shanti Bush.
Shanti Bush.
Potentially going down to the VFLW to play for Hawthorn. Beck Goddard chose Dom Carbone to play this weekend, but Ashanti didn't get the call up this week. I'm sure Chris Atkinson, coach of Buffs, was pretty happy about that. She's lining up for goal, about 45-degree angle.
Kicks on its way, looks pretty good. Just hit the inside of the goalpost on the left-hand side. So a quick forward entry from the Buffs at the start of this game, and a minor score only.
Lauren got the kick-out duties for St Mary's.
Yeah, back in the side after a bit of an absence. And Alana Coombs out there for Saints gets the kick as she's tackled and advances it down towards the wing. Bit of a push out there and a free kick. And
I think it's young Charlie Simmons
out
there, yeah.
Who was...
hair, darker hair has always got me.
Great mark by Alana Coombs and then hit after the marking contest.
So Coombs now kicks the ball in towards centre half forward. A strong mark taken at centre half forward there by Catherine Dunn.
Catherine Dan, Stu, the amazing race star this season on Channel 10. We'll talk about that a bit later, Heidi.
Yeah, I haven't really been watching a lot of it, Cruzy, but you're going to fill me in, I'm sure.
There's a shot at goal from out wide.
Get out of town.
Saints, and
I think it was Michaela Long.
It's a terrific finish. It was a pretty acute angle.
It was, and St Mary's on the board at the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. One straight goal leading Darwin Buffaloes just the one behind. And after Buffaloes got the first clearance, Heidi.
Yeah, great start by Saints down the line, and a nice mark taken by Coombs like you've spoken about. And then got it into the pocket and somehow threw it on the boot. Just missed the replay then, Stu. Just trying to figure out who it was exactly. Might have been Shakira Stevens, possibly.
You know what? I'll text her mum. I just came up in the lift with her mum, beautiful mum, and Colleen, and I'll text her and see who kicked that goal. But great start for St Mary's here at TIO Stadium. You're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL Final Series.
Buffs again with the clearance. Worked the ball down to half forward. But Eilert with a hand pass out the back to Bryant. Bryant's kick goes out wide where Anderson's first to the ball, picks up and advances it 10 or so metres. Anderson's in the action again, but a free kick against her this time for kicking in danger. And Buffs the chance to advance the ball. Roberts on the end of this one picks up and drives them inside forward.
The bodywork from Molly Althouse.
Plays on straight away, kicks long to the goal square. It comes over the back, snapped around the corner.
She's hit two posties.
Shanti Bush has hit the same post again.
I just had a text from Shakira's mum, and I was right. It was Michaela Long that kicked that first goal for St Mary's. But yeah, two posters to Ashanti Bush. Wow, bit of a let off for St Mary's there.
So the ball comes over the back, but players overrun it. It's Remfrey again with the kick inside 50. Coming across there for Saints was Bryant. Couldn't hold the mark.
Jamie Bryan will get the free here. Held off the ball. Catherine Product along with Charlie Simmons. So great to see a Catherine connection there into Isabel Porter by the looks.
And hasn't she been great for St Mary's this season?
Yeah, post-Christmas she's been one of their best for sure.
Porter kicked with purpose, but didn't have any players on the end of it. Chopped off there by Corrie. She drives it deep into the forward line for Buffs. It's loose on the ground, picked up down there, and a kick around the corner looks pretty good.
That one did not hit the post. Michelle Ellis, yes. So, yeah, a good finish there under plenty of pressure, and a nice snapshot at goal from, again, a pretty acute angle.
Well, we were talking about the Alice Springs connection in the last game, Heidi, and Michelle Ellis is one of those again today.
Yeah, along with Remfrey, Kirsten Remfrey
Mm-hmm.
as well. Yeah, Michelle Ellis has moved up here permanently to Darwin, but Remfrey's been flying in and out for a couple of their games and handy pickups. Remfrey's actually had a fair bit of the ball, quite a few inside 50s already for this game, and Ellis just throws it on the boot there on that angle. Didn't really have a look at goals and somehow managed to get through.
Great sports player she is. She's a premiership player and a league medalist down there in the CAFL. So well done to Michelle Ellis. That score, Buffaloes 1-2-8, leading St Mary's one straight goal.
Duggan with the clearance for Buffs this time, and again Althouse with strength. Sits herself under the ball, takes the mark at centre half forward. She this one's a bit off the side of the boot, going inside forward 50, and bounces towards the boundary line now and bounces over.
Paris is matched up on Ellis. She's going to give away a bit of height in that contest, Heidi.
Yeah, they might need to look at that mismatch there. Maybe speed.
Yeah. Oh, Paris is pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah, as in...
to beat her. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But, yeah.
So, over the back, Mickey Roberts kicks it down, bouncing in the goal square, but just bounces the wrong side of the goal post.
Well, it's all been Buffs so far. Other than the one goal from St Mary's, lots of inside 50s from the Buffettes.
Yeah, basically the one forward entry by Saints, but again, Niven brings it back in. Over the back, Lelia Dunn gets a quick kick forward, but Buffs are first there. Nicely done again by Remfrey. Got the hand pass inside, and Eilert gets a kick off the ground as the ball trickles towards the boundary line and goes over now.
Kylie Duggan watches that one go over, captain of Buffettes today. She's been a very experienced player over the years. Exceptional basketballer, quite a few basketballers actually.
Yeah, there is.
Buff side with Tanya Dew, coach captain of Tracy Village.
So Duggan was with the free kick down to Althouse. She hand passes over the top, trying to get it to the advantage of her teammate down there. But the Saints defenders came across, blocked that off and worked it over the boundary line again.
I think she had too many options there, Stu.
Yeah.
She went handball, should I kick, and then eventually handballed it to space and it went over the boundary line.
Umpires today, Adam Coles and Phil Chindham in the green shirts out there. So that throw-in misses everyone in the rucking contest and comes over the back. Althouse again, hand passes over to Duggan. Duggan's under plenty of pressure here, gets caught with the ball, manages to get a hand pass out. Remfrey gets worried out of it, but she's still in the contest. Oh, good work down there, and Saints clear it out of defence. Catherine Dan.
Porter into Dan. We might see that a bit today. What do you think, Cruzy?
Yeah, she's from Broome, great footballer, been coming across to St Mary's for the last few seasons, and as we said, start on this season of the amazing race with her cousin, as we see
Alana Coombs on the end of this
again.
one.
She's an important player for St Mary's. They need her to be on her A game today.
Chips into a pack there, picked up by Simmons, but Roberts for Buffs gets the hand pass out the back. That gets smothered. Remfrey's there again, and she kicks the ball inside the centre corridor going forward. Althouse picks up down there and breaks the tackle. Ellis reaching over the top, couldn't take the mark. Some good defensive work down there by Paris, and she's helped out now by Porter under pressure. Does well.
And, Isabel Porter, she is so smart. When she knows she hasn't got players to kick to or handball to, she creates space somehow.
So Alana Coombs on the end of this one again and drives it forward. Duggan read it well, picked it up and got the hand pass across to Remfrey, but tackle goes unrewarded. Play on's the call. Roberts hand passes back to Duggan, and
yeah,
Mickey Roberts got climbed on there.
Yeah, Bridie McMurtry just tried to get around her, and Mickey clever with
it's a shame though, because that tackle
position
was great from St Mary's, but they've won it back now, Buffs.
So centering ball into the corridor, and it's gone on for Buffs.
I've seen this a few times, Stu. I have watched Buffs train a fair bit down at Moyle Oval, and they like to switch the ball, which they've done into a shanty bush here.
Bush paddles it along in front of herself, and again it gets taken out of the contest there as she tried to run through. Fairly, of course, but play on's the caller on, and an incorrect disposal, free kick. Jamie Bryant a bit unlucky on that occasion, but it's Buffs with the opportunity.
I think it's Anderson there with the ball.
Yeah.
Who's their leading goal kicker this season.
So Anderson kick on the way. It's going right to the goal line.
Oh, Delcy Owang had a couple of grabs at it.
But Saints managed to force it over for a behind.
Yeah, so they're coming up to the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. Darwin Buffettes, 1-4-10, leading St Mary's, one straight goal.
So Niven to Porter. Porter drives it down the close to the boundary line, and Shakira Stevens couldn't keep hold of that one under pressure and out over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Saints are just struggling to get it out of their defensive 50. I think if Isabel Porter gets it free there with no one on her, she needs to run and carry and force the Buffs girls to come at her.
So throw-in goes over the back of the rucks there and picked up nicely by Kernoth. Drives the ball forward inside 50. Anderson's there again for Buffs, trying to keep it in under some pressure. It's just inside the boundary line. Anderson eventually gets a hand pass out the back to Lewis. Lewis advances it into the forward pocket, but Saints there set up well behind the ball.
Yeah, Jamie Bryant, as you said, from Catherine. Heidi, she's
going. I thought she was going to Charlie Simmons then. I think she was trying to get the Catherine connection going. It might work out for them.
Emily Forshaw got the kick out, and Eliza Shannon out there for Saints eventually picks up, hand passes back, and Saints the opportunity to go forward again, but Gemma Iacono read that one best.
Yeah, BNF winner for Darwin Buffaloes recently last weekend, and showing her worth back there. She hasn't had to do a hell of a lot for now. I'll be expecting a lot from her today.
Just look at her though, it's coming back down, and there's no one on Gemma Iacono. She does this week in, week out, and there's never anyone on her.
Just sits behind the ball, kick away, picks them off.
Every week.
So now Buffs with the chance with a loose ball in the ground. Bush again picks up on the outside of the boot, kicks towards goal. It looks pretty good.
Well,
it is.
That will help her chances in getting selected for VFLW for the Hawthorn team down there on the outside of the boot. And she actually looked like she was shaping up for a left foot kick then, and just sprued on her right, outside of the boot, bananaed it in.
Yeah, she's just a raw talent, Ashanti Bush. She was selected in the 2021 AFL National Academy. As you said, Heidi recently trained with Hawthorn VFLW. She's played in the Big Rivers League for the Arnhem Crows from Barunga. So, she's
Gold Coast Suns have also got their eyes on her as well.
Yeah, she's a women's rugby player for Nightcliff Dragons, and I'm pretty sure she was in their top 5 players or in the rep side. So, yeah. Very, very talented sportswoman. So that score now, Darwin Buffaloes 2-4-16, leading St Mary's one straight goal.
So back in the centre of the ground, Forshaw there for Saints, gets dragged off the ball.
Just watching Izzy Porter in the background here, just hands on hips. I think she might have got a late bump. She's a bit proppy, not really her usual self. That could be detrimental to the chances of Saints today.
Forshaw's kick goes down towards half forward. Shannon's there for Saints, just advancing the ball off the ground, and eventually it's picked up by Simmons, but she gets tackled with the ball and the ball spills out, and it'll be Angie Gunnanon with the free kick. She chips in here and finds Kernoth. Kernoth now driving the ball down the wing. Islet's in there first for Saints, couldn't take the mark, keeps the ball in front of her, gets pushed out of the way by Wang. Eventually it's Forshaw for Saints who gets a kick across the ground, but Buffaloes again.
It's going to be ball. Might be play on advantage here.
Well, the ball bounces fortuitously for Dan, who punches it out in front of herself and now picks up, chips in, diving attempt at a mark by Eliza Shannon's not paid, and she gets wrapped up in the tackle. And it'll be a ball up.
Interesting to see Eliza Shannon so far up the ground, Heidi. She's normally in defence for St Mary's.
Yeah, I think they've made a change there. Maybe a tall target in the forward line that they can aim at.
So Buffs with the clearance, the ball comes back into the centre square. Alana Coombs there again for Saints. Paddles the ball in front of herself, now picks up and swings around and kicks down towards half forward. But again, Iacono read it best, got herself in good position out in some space and takes the intercept mark.
I think Jazz Anderson is her opponent, I noticed at the ball up, but Jazz was, about 30 metres away from her.
Saints out of defence, but there's a wall of buff jumpers there, and Oldhouse chops that one off easily enough.
Yeah, looking inboard here on the 45. Got a free player. Shakira Henry, I think that might be.
Yeah, thumped it down towards half forward, but Saints working back in defence. Hand pass comes across to McMurtry. She kicks it into the centre of the ground where there's a contest. Again, Kernoth picks up and sees a couple of free players on the outer side, but the kick just went astray. Eilert working hard at half back for Saints, but eventually the ball spills out and Buffs go forward again. Nivens read that one, run off her player and picked up and gets the kick out, but it's not going far, and Buffs bring it straight back in, kick towards goal, but again offline and a minor score.
So can't be too much from the quarter time siren. It's Darwin Buffettes 2-5-17 leading St Mary's, just that one straight goal, and Laurie Niven is going to kick it in again for Saints. And like you said, Heidi, Isabel Porter looking pretty proppy out there with hands on hips.
Yeah, I think she might have got winded. She was really gasping for air when she got up. Certainly not her usual self. The break will do her good, I think, at quarter time.
Anderson caught with the ball there, was held into her. She thought she might have had a free kick, but nothing in that, and it's going to be a ball up here. Hit out's won there by Bailey for Saints, but Buffs are first to the ball on the ground. Kernoth again.
She's been busy.
Yeah, she was good last time we watched them as well. And hand pass comes back. Oh, quick kick forward there by Palapamini, and falls into the hands of Ellis again, is it?
Yep.
And another goal to Buffs, and so they've really piled it on towards the end of this first quarter.
Yeah, they need some follow-up work there when you've got players like Michelle Ellis and a couple of really strong girls that they've got in their forward line. You can't just give up after the first attempt. You've got to keep tracking them, and Michelle Ellis was in that play, got the ball in here, then handballed it out the back. Pretty fiery handball, bulleted it in, but then was left free, spare, and managed to then pick it up unmarked. Yep. And had plenty of time to kick. You can't do that on an experienced player like Michelle Ellis.
So 17-minute mark of the first quarter, Darwin Buffettes 3-5-23 leading St Mary's one straight goal. Of course, this is the qualifying final. The winner will play Pint in the semi-final 2 next week, and the loser will play
Nightcliff Footy Club.
Nightcliff, yeah. Who won earlier today.
Barbara Eilert out of defence, and Saints looking to work the ball forward. Kicks off the ground, but picked up eventually by Hanning for Buffs, but this one's chopped off at half back by Jamie Bryant. Bryant on the left looks to go to the outer side. Ludwig's in front out there, but she's worried out of it by Nicole Schmidt, and Buffs with the numbers work it forward again, and a nice mark taken here over the top by Shakira Henry. She's got some free players inside the corridor. She goes that way, and Ashanti Bush had her hands on it, but after the siren had gone.
Imagine if that was a mark. Well, quarter time here at TIO Stadium. It is Darwin Buffettes 5-3-23 leading Saints one straight goal. We'll be back after the quarter time break.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel, forever you feel, together real, together. Yeah. Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better, and I'm going far and wide. Ooh.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice,
Come and see it.
still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for this qualifying final between Darwin Buffettes and St Mary's. The score at quarter time, Buffettes 3-5-23 leading St Mary's, one straight goal. Goal kickers for Buffs, 2 to Michelle Ellis and 1 to Ashanti Bush, while St Mary's Michaela Long kicked that early goal. Heidi, a good start, but Buffs looking a bit dangerous at the moment.
Yeah, Buffs have got off to a bit of a flyer here, and looking in the middle of the park for St Mary's, Porter starting in the midfield with Anderson, and they'll need a bit from those two players to really get going moving forward.
Underway again. Dew wins the hit out. Kylie Duggan's there for Buffs, but can't pick up the ball. Eventually that she's caught with it underneath, it slips out, and Lewis went without it. Duggan's in there again, picks up, she's tackled strongly, the ball slips over the top, and Roberts hand passes out in front of herself and now kicks along the ground. It's a foot race here with Alana Coombs. Coombs is first there and got tackled high and wins the free kick, and then Roberts doesn't like that and gives away a 50-metre penalty.
Chris Atkinson, coach of Buffettes, will not be happy with that.
And just before Izzy Porter got put down in the centre, I thought she was coming off to the bench there, but she's gone and lined up on Mickey Roberts, so a bit of feeling out there.
Not a bad matchup.
Yeah, Izzy's still looking a bit proppy from that first quarter hit though.
Saints got it inside 50 now, and looks like they've won a free kick here.
So Michaela Long.
Michaela Long.
Yeah. She was the goal kicker in the first quarter for St Mary's. She is St Mary's leading goal kicker on 18 goals for the season.
And captain today?
Yeah, captain with Izzy Porter, co-captain.
So Long kicks long towards the goal. That's a terrific kick and floats all the way through, straight through the middle. So that's just what Saints needed to start this second quarter, and Long with her second goal on the board.
Good to see players getting around Michaela Long there. It just might spark something, bit of energy through this St Mary's team, because they were looking fairly down and out at quarter time.
Yeah, the daughter of Michael Long and mum Leslie Turner, who's also got good football genes, and she's standing next to her cousin Nikita Long. And Rachel Ponner is in the centre. She's another cousin, the daughter of Susie Long. So, yeah, I'm just having a look to see if there's anyone I missed, because I'll get in trouble. Shannon Ponter has played all season. She's out with injury, but Rachie Ponner in the ruck there. A very strong family at the footy club. So that score, Buffaloes 3-5-23, leading Saints 2 straight goals.
Dew reaches over the top, wins the hit out. Good defensive work there by Derouge in the middle.
Yeah, Rachel Ponner didn't have it then.
So Saints free kick to Ponter. She hand passes off to the running player out of defence, Jamie Bryant. Bryant kicks the ball down towards half forward.
Oh, well done, Talia Corey. Read that well.
Did really well and kept the ball in front of her, running off her opponent. But now the ball's caught up underneath her as she tries to fish it out to a teammate. Eventually the hand pass comes out. Shannon picks up, hand passes back, looking for Forshaw there. But it's a free kick off the ball. And Eliza Shannon with the free kick for Saints. Kicks along into the corridor going forward. Slips over the back. Anderson's down there. She can't pick it up. The hand pass comes inboard. Well, strong work down there by Long. And Saints with the kick around the corner. Porter, it's going all the way to the goal.
Hit the post, I think.
Yeah, bounced into the goal post. And so, yeah, unlucky there. But Saints looking a bit more like it in this early parts of this second quarter.
Yeah, they're putting it to Buffettes. That's exactly what they needed to do at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, Jazz Anderson was looking to, mark it and kick it, but did the right thing and unfortunately hit the post.
So Remfrey out of defence finds Michelle Ellis on a long lead. She gets the ball on quickly down the outer side, looking for Henry out there. Henry runs onto it now, evades her opponent, goes one way then the other, and then kicks long inside forward 50, and getting on the end of this one, Madison Gargan takes the mark. She sees a player out wide, likes the look of that.
Oh,
terrific.
The
flight. Back with the flight of the ball, takes some courage.
Wow.
So she hasn't got much to go to here, and Porter outnumbered and copped one across the head, I think. So
she's in the wars, Porter. Yeah. But she's still out there. As long as she's out there, Saints have got a shot at this game.
Looking for options now. Eliza Shannon's coming a long way up the ground to give her something, but Charlie Simmons takes a beautiful mark there. Read it nicely, and now she's looking to go down the line again. Kicks high, but Remfrey read that one, sat herself underneath it and took the mark.
Could be 50 there, yeah, straight through the mark. I saw it and wondered if he was going to pay it. It was a pretty obvious one there from St Mary's, running straight through in front of Remfrey.
So that advances Remfrey to the 50-metre arc. She chips it in down the corridor, and Ashanti Bush again on the end of this one in the middle of the pack, and read it nicely, took the mark, and she'll go back for a set shot at goal.
Right on her distance here for Ashanti Bush. Lovely kick.
Kicks on its way now, looks good, it's going right to the goal line, and some good work on the line, and sees that go through. So another good finish and another goal for Bush.
Yeah, it's a shame for St Mary's. They had all that effort and intent at the start of the quarter, and it just got relinquished there quite easily through Buffaloes.
Well, the 50-metre penalty, obviously, really put the pressure on their defenders.
So 2 goals to Ashanti Bush and 2 to Michelle Ellis for Darwin Buffettes and 2 to Michaela Long. It's a game of 2s right now, so second quarter as well. I'm giving out my best dad jokes right now. So Darwin Buffettes 4-5, 2 for 2 for 22. 4-5-29, leading St Mary's 2-1-13 here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. You're watching AFLNTV's coverage of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL Finals Series.
Alana Coombs comes in off the wing and gets that across to Porter, but Buffs again.
Great body work from Buffs.
Anderson gets worried off of that one and tackled without the ball it looked like, but play on's the call and it spills out now, and now Saints out of defence 3 done. Over the back, it's Anderson who gets a quick kick forward. Shannon picks up hand passes directly to her opponent, Iakono, who advances it to Roberts. Roberts looking to kick the ball down the wing and reaching over the top with a good spoil. Shakira Stevens sees that out of bounds.
You can see what Chris Atkinson has been working on here with the Darwin Buffaloes. You can see the protection around the ball. They're working the Shepherds. They're looking for that lateral kick. They're a very well organised group, and that's why they've made the top 4 and are in the double chance playoff today.
And we spoke in the last game about Nightcliff having all homegrown players, very similar at Darwin Buffettes. They're all no fly-ins really, apart from the Alice Springs girls, but yeah, really good core group in Darwin.
And a lot of under-18 girls that have come through the ranks. Very, very strong under-18 group last year with the Buffettes. And you can see those girls coming through now with the likes of even the one kicking it there, Michelle Lewinsky, and Angie Goninon. Dom Carbone not playing today, but Ashanti Bush. There's a whole heap. And
it just shows when you've got Dom Carbone out, they can, look through their ranks and cover her.
Lana Coombs again for Saints. Kicks long down towards half forward. The hand pass comes over the pack. Iakono's
50-50 call there, and it's 50, yes.
50-metre penalty.
Jem Iakono. Catherine Dan's got under her skin there, Cruzy, and Jem has given away the 50. This could be a certain goal here.
Yeah, Kat Dan needs to run it right up if she wants to kick this goal for St Mary's and have a crack at it. Michaela Long's telling her to go for goal.
So, yeah, that's taken her right down to just 20 metres out from goal, and Dan now comes in, kicks on its way. She's dragged it a bit, just too much out to the left. So, yeah, an important opportunity missed there, I would think.
Kat Dan plays for Cable Beach in the West Kimberley Football League, and she's had a bit of waffle experience with East Fremantle too. So, but been at St Mary's for a few seasons now. Oh, Izzy Porter.
Well read by Porter, double-fisted it forward and then runs onto it herself, has a shot at goal, and looks good. It is, she likes it.
I think she's recovered, Stu.
And a great shepherd by Michaela Long to take that player out that was chasing her too. Well done, Izzy Porter.
Oh, terrific work by Porter. Just read the play, backed herself and made the spoil, and then gathered herself and just ran in and finished beautifully.
Yeah, I thought she'd be playing VFLW for Williamstown. I'm not sure whether she'll be playing throughout this season because it's round 1 this weekend, but she is very much needed in the Saints lineup here. And today she was looking a bit sore and sorry at the end of the first quarter, but like you said, just read the play beautifully and chucked it on the boot.
Izzy actually started her career at Darwin Buffettes quite a few years ago now, but been at St Mary's a few years. So Darwin Buffettes 4-5-29 leading St Mary's 3-20, just a 9-point ball game.
So Bailey wins the hit out for Saints this time, and but it's a free kick off the ball against Porter this time. And Roberts for Buffs kicks down towards half forward, but Saints repel that one. Gone on first there for Buffs, keeping her feet, but eventually she's on the ground and shovels it out the back. And now Buffs the opportunity again. Roberts again with the clearing kick down the wing, and Buffs are pretty well set up to go forward here. Kick forward by Slewinski, but that's gone over the top of her teammate there and bounced off of Peris down there.
Oh, what a pick up by Ashanti Bush. Oh, and a great chase.
And it was good pressure, but Delcy
one-handed pick up on the run, flat stick.
And that's why she's so exciting when you look at the prospect of her moving forward with her footy career.
Yeah.
Not sure it was a pass into the forward line,
I think she just got tackled as she kicked, and but Delcy Wang was in the right spot, and she finishes as she normally does.
So the 5th goal to Darwin Buffaloes to Delcy Wang. She's a life member of the NTFL, AFLNT. She's played, well over 150 games and very, very experienced, which will hold Buffaloes instead in the final series.
Yes, that 9-point lead is now blown out a little bit. Saints can get one back here before the break.
A good fast-flowing game though, Heidi.
Yeah, I like it. It's exciting. It's open.
Open.
There's not too many stoppages. a great finals match is what you'd expect.
Dels has actually moved down to Alice Springs in the last few months, and she's playing for Rovers. So come back up for finals, which is good for Buffs.
The whistle nearly went in the mouth there for a push in the back for Tanya Dew. Play on's a call.
Kernoth off the ground, kicks it out towards half forward. Ellis in the contest out there, now makes the tackle. Ball on the ground, and looking to work it out the back was Kernoth. Had no one to go to and decided to kick it herself in the end. Mark was spilled.
I think she had too many options, Stu. She was going to give it out the back, then Ellis over on the side, and then she ended up kicking it straight down the throat of a St Mary's player.
So we've got a restart again, inside forward 50 for Buffs. Old House over the top, wins it, hit out, wins the ball herself, and hand passes out wide, and now a shot at goal on the run falls short, and Buffs have got some numbers down there. A kick off the ground, it's straight into a teammate. Duggan's on the end of this one, but her kick's astray for a behind.
Good front position by Laurie Niven there to stop that mark in the goal square to Dels.
Yeah, she was outnumbered.
Yeah, but put herself
really
in
well.
the right spot.
Niven brings it back in, goes straight up the corridor this time, but Lucy Lewis takes a good mark at centre half forward for Buffs, and she's just slowing things down a bit now.
Kira Kernoth is totally free there at the top of the 50. No one has gone to her. Oh, and someone's down in the goal square. Laurie Niven, I think.
Lewis kicks long to that goal square, and strong mark taken in front. Old House it is.
She's coming from the ground now, Niven.
She's had some trouble with a knee. She's been out for about the last 5 or 6 weeks. I was actually surprised she was playing. So Alana Coombs also going to the bench for a rotation, and it looks like Charlie Simmons coming on and Barb Eilert as that goal is kicked for Buffs. Another one to Dulcie Arwang.
She snuck that through, Chrissy.
I was actually watching the rotation.
A little bit casual.
Got caught out.
A little bit casual, but I'll pay that goal. It was okay. It still counts as a goal on the score sheet.
And of course, Dulcie's little cousin Stephanie Williams is doing great things down at Geelong in the VFLW.
Yeah, Indigenous round in AFLW.
AFLW.
They got a little bit of a touch-up with Richmond last night, but Steph's doing her thing, and she's out there providing plenty. Almost kicked a goal, 2 almost goals in 2 of her games that she's played. She's on the brink of greatness.
I love her enthusiasm and attitude. She's just so positive and always with a smile on her face, and of course plays for my team, the Cats, so I'm not biased at all. That score now, Buffaloes is 6-6-42 to St Mary's 3-2-20 as Eliza Shannon gets that handball out.
Oh, well done by Lewis working back, and the hand pass comes across to Iacono. Iacono drives down here, and mark taken again, and it's Polipamini for Buffs, drives it forward. Henry worried out of it there, and picks up a bit of a soft free kick,
soft,
but Shakira Henry will take that free kick. She's looking to drive the ball in towards centre half forward, and
why wouldn't you go to Molly
Althouse
when she can do that?
She plays straight on down to the goal
mark.
square, but
great mark in defence.
Terrific defensive work, and that's Barb Eilert down there. She goes wide on the outer side of the ground, and Saints again trying to work it out of defence. The ball eventually comes here to McMurtry. Kick comes down the wing, and Shannon in front takes a strong mark, plays on straight away now. Kicks down to a pretty open forward line. Coming out is Michaela Long, gets her hands to it, hand passes back across to Dan. Dan kicks forward, but working back in defence for Buffaloes is Stokes. She picks up and chips out wide here, and Hazlett's going to be first to the ball for Buffs in a bit of space. She's having trouble picking it up, but eventually does, and kicks wide, goes over the head of Duggan, and now it's DeRouge for Saints, gets it across to Dunn. Dunn drives it back towards half forward. Good defensive work there by Hanning for Buffs. And Kernoth in there again, kicks off the ground, keeps it in front of her, and now recovers herself and takes possession, kicks forward. It's Palapamini racing after this one. She falls to the ground. Nicely done down there by Davey for Saints. Goes across the ground looking for Forshaw, missed her, and Mickey Roberts pounced on that one and drove it deep into the forward line again. Some good work through the hands and foreshore eventually for Saints. Again going straight down the corridor where Buffs have got some numbers. Hazlitt does well to work it towards a teammate, or fumble down there, and Saints again in defence kick it out towards the grandstand side. It goes over the top of the pack. Alana Coombs runs onto it and advances the ball down towards half forward where it's a one-on-one. Michaela Long out in front, just taps it to her own advantage and then gets bundled off the ball by Stokes. Stokes hand passes it back inside. Charlie Simmons under there, but she can't pick it up cleanly. Alana Coombs again hooks around the corner, and here's an opportunity if Anderson can run onto it, but it's just going to beat her over the boundary line.
Some good skills shown with the foot and marking skills, but unfortunately our ground balls out there aren't great from both teams. If they're cleaner, for one touch, you can really see some expansive play, and Saints would have had some opportunities going forward then.
There's actually light rain falling, very light rain now, so that'll make it interesting conditions after us saying what a sunny, beautiful day it was in Darwin.
We jinxed it.
I did mow the lawns this morning, everyone, so that is why it's raining. Week in, week out at the moment.
So the ball's hacked along towards the boundary line, and
should be a lasso.
Yeah, it is going to be a free kick, and Alana Coombs.
You want to get moving. It's 17 and a half minutes into this second quarter, and I think someone from the bench has just brought that to attention.
She kicks deep into the forward line. Ball slips over the back. Stokes with the handball out here to Corrie, but she changes her mind and goes back to Iacono. Iacono drills it out of defence, and Mickey Roberts takes that mark at half back. She chips in short to Althouse, and Althouse takes that mark and slows things down a bit. Has something she likes further up the ground, and she finds Gargan inside the centre square. So Madison Gargan now kicks the ball forward of centre, but the mark just spilt by Shannon there, and Ashanti Bush bodied her out of the way, picked up, kicked long, racing across there, and defence was Paris for Saints as the siren goes to end the second quarter. So a 5-goal quarter, 3 to Buffs and 2 to Saints. Liz.
Yeah, that's right. Half time here at TIO Stadium. So 6-6-42, Buffalo's leading St Mary's 3-2-20. Heidi, your quick thoughts about the first half?
I think it's relatively even, although the scoreboard doesn't really show it. I think Saints had plenty of opportunities and just didn't make it worth their while. No reward for effort. And Buffs are probably a bit more clinical, more organised around the ball, and certainly more structured. So we'll see how the second half pans out.
Yeah, both teams will go off to their coaches. For Darwin Buffettes, Chris Atkinson, St Mary's, Danielle Chisholm and Jared Eilert for that halftime break. We'll take a quick break and we'll see you back for the third quarter very soon.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
Domestic violence is everybody's business.
And it's not just the physical abuse, it's the things we don't see.
It is hurting our families. It is killing our families.
A lot of people have been silent to this fact, and I think it's about time we all speak up together and say no more to this form of abuse.
No more.
No more. No more family violence.
No more to the family violence.
No more. No more.
No more.
Listen up, kids.
Make school your story.
Help you succeed and rise to glory.
Safe to go to school.
So go the distance. 10 every day. Learn and listen. School holiday rockin', we love our break.
Time with friends and family is always great.
But when it's time for school, don't get slack.
It's safe to go to school, can't wait to get back. So don't cut corners.
Do the full term. It's safe to go to school and it's time to learn. So don't cut corners. Do the full term. Make school your story. It's time to learn.
School returns February 2021. Written and authorised by the Northern Territory Government.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide. Ooh.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
On Territory roads, anything can happen. So you need to drive to the condition. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble. All sorts of animals can be on the road, so watch out. And if the weather is bad, slow down, you mob. Drive to the conditions and arrive in good condition.
The time to kickstart your business is now. Get your message across with the experienced local TV production team at Kick Digital. Cost effective, rapid turnaround, exceptional service. Kick Digital. Television production energised.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal for all school-related activities. 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact CFS Gear for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy.
I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
The NTFL clubs and umpires would like to share the following events and messages and thank their sponsors for the 2021 TIO NTFL season. For more information, please visit the relevant club or umpire's Facebook page.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium for the third quarter of this qualifying final between Darwin Buffettes and St Mary's. Liz Cruz, Heidi Thompson and Stu Davis in the commentary box. I even wrote that down, so I wouldn't do that ever again. So it's great to have everyone watching on the AFLNT TV live stream today. It is Darwin Buffettes 6-6-42 leading St Mary's 3-20. Heidi, big second half coming up.
Yeah, I think so. Tanya Gill about to take it out of the ruck here.
And once again, Kylie Duggan gets the clearance for Buffs straight down the centre of the ground to half forward. Oldhouse gets on the end of that one, hooks around and kicks the ball inside forward 50. Working hard in defence down there was Peris, got slung after she got rid of the ball. Play on's the call. Kick comes across from Lewis, straight across the goal square. Barbara Eilert out in front, just trying to hack it off the ground and get it out of the defensive area. She eventually gets a hand pass out, but plenty of pressure down there and no clean possession as the ball's wrapped up, and we'll have a ball up.
They're expecting the two teams to be a little bit cleaner in this second half. Hopefully that was the message from the coaches. Clean one touch, you can have a footy.
Oldhouse wins a hit out, but ball on the ground. Peris gets a hand pass forward. Anderson out there for Buffs, picks up, but she's tackled and the ball spills out. Again, the ball loose on the ground, and Porter in there for Saints lays the tackle, and she gets rewarded for an incorrect disposal free kick. So Isabel Porter on the outer side.
Be interested to see how her second half goes, Heidi, after we think she had a bit of an injury in the first half.
Yeah, I think she's shaken it off a little bit now after that goal and a bit more run. She looks like more energy, more torque behind the ball there.
Charlie Simmons with a quick kick forward, but Iakono working back for Buffs, got it across to Schmidt. Schmidt kicked it up in the air, chased it herself and laid a tackle, and Saints through the hands trying to work it out into some space, and diving on the ball down there again was Iakono. Managed to get a hand pass forward, but again just not clean hands, and that means the ball gets caught up underneath the pack a bit. Buffs working it out now. Now they've got some players running onto this one. Quick through the hands, and Hazlitt for Buffs finds some space and kicks down towards half forward. Bush again picks up beautifully, plays on with a bounce.
Wow.
Running straight into the open goal now, kicks, and another great finish by Ashanti Bush, and great work together and just use some pace to get away from her opponent and open up the field.
Not only that, Stu, at the start there, the body work, she just played her position. Her opposition player just pushed her towards the ball, knowing that she was working the advantage, and then once it popped up to her, you knew that she was gone for all money. You're not going to chase her down.
She's just a highlight reel, isn't she? Just a beautiful, talented, natural footballer.
And she plays on instinct, and that's what I like about her. That sometimes she'll paddle it, and it's a bit frustrating watching it, but she can paddle and pick it up, and then she's off, and she knows her game, knows her strengths, and I think that's why she's so exciting. And other clubs are looking at her.
Oh, for sure. So that score, Darwin Buffettes 7-6-48, leading St Mary's 3-2-20 at the 3-minute mark of the third quarter.
Duggan with the clearance, and Shannon back there, hand passes across to Keita Long. She kicks the ball out of defence, and a quick kick forward by Bailey for Saints. Iakono again across half back, but she's under some pressure from Coombs this time. Keeps the ball in front. Coombs eventually works her way to the front, gets a hand pass out, and probably a fortunate free kick, but she'll take that one and
close to a 50.
Plays on straight away, and down there looking for Davey, who had the ball knocked away from her. Now Saints working the ball out towards the boundary line on the outer side. Simmons gets a hand pass back inside. Davies in there again, taps it forward, and Anderson working back on the ball now, and Buffs with the numbers looking to run the ball out of defence now, and Gonanon kicks down towards the centre square. Roberts picks up, gets tackled, loses the ball, and Saints the opportunity. Three-quarter hands it off to Coombs, but bounces favourably for Davey, who kicks across to half forward, and the mark's taken down there by Dan. Catherine Dan chips in short to the player on the lead, and that's a good pass, finding her captain Michaela Long out on the lead.
Great lead up there to that passage of play. You could see what Saints were trying to do, just hitting up their targets and using the ball really well, which they did. Dan pushed back hard, saw the option was on, kicked it nice and low.
So Long runs in now, kicks towards goal. It's a pretty good kick, but just faded off to the right, unfortunately for Saints, and a minor score.
She has kicked 2 goals already in this game for St Mary's, and Isabel Porter with the other one. Just the 3 goals on the board so far for Saints today.
Buffs coming out of defence. Kylie Duggan picks up and hand passes backwards, but the ball's not taken cleanly there, and on the ground it's an interesting hand pass out, but play on's the call, and Anderson kicks in off hands, taken down there by Boundary, who kicks towards the goal, and
no, kept it in.
Yeah, so probably just needed to run over with that one.
Talia Corrie, it might have been the Buffs player there, just tapped it back in, unfortunately.
She's actually Jaylene's cousin. So
oh, no.
Not trying to be controversial or anything.
Gave one back to Saints there.
Yeah.
But you've got to be in the right position, and the Saints players were right there on the line, ready to go.
And so Bonnie Davey is another cousin. They're all related, the Corrie family. So there's a lot of representatives for the family out there today, and there's a big group of them sitting on the hills. So
Jaylene Boundary kicks it over the top, and she taps it back in, Talia, not knowing that Kayla's right there.
She wasn't happy either. So, but a really important goal for St Mary's to keep them in the game. Darwin Buffettes 7-6-48, leading St Mary's 4-3-27 at the 6-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. There's cousins and sisters and all sorts of things everywhere out there today.
So Leila Dunn with the clearance, but just went sideways and not forward, and Lewis in there with the hands, but done again for Saints. Gets this forward about 20 metres this time. Alana Coombs reaches in and picks up, kicks high towards half forward. Anderson over the back. Oh, claim the mark. She had a fair case, I think, but not paid, unfortunately, and she thinks it is, but it's going to be a ball up.
She's trying to work her way into this match. Been pretty quiet today, Jasmine Anderson. She can be quite potent around goals, and I think they're looking a bit more for her.
She's actually the player who's been in the best for St Mary's most time this year with 10, while Gemma O'Kono for 6 bests.
Both of them have been relatively quiet today, actually.
What we're used to, yeah.
So Buffs going forward again, and hand pass inboard by Ah Wang. Gets it to...
Oh, lucky Michelle Ellis kicked that because she had a free player in the goal square. She backed herself, kicks her 3rd.
Classy finish there by Michelle Ellis. 3 goals today, 3 also to Ashanti Bush and 2 to Delcia Wang, and I think they were the 3 players in the 50 just then.
It just shows the work rate as well. You've got Buffs who are in front. Ashanti Bush could have got the ball then, turned around, handballed off, and it was a handball chain to Michelle Ellis, who was running through the middle of the pack. Delcia Wang here, who handballs through. Yeah, and it just shows the work rate, and disorganised there from St Mary's. They were probably 1 or 2 short.
And just composure by the Buffs girls to kick that goal and finish. So that takes the score 8-6-54. Darwin Buffettes leading St Mary's 4-3-27. Just about to tick over the 8-minute mark of the 3rd quarter here at TIO Stadium in Darwin, where you're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2020-21 TIO NTFL finals.
So Ponty uses her body well there and won the hit up, but Buffs force it forward, picked up by Oldhouse coming out from centre half forward, gets a hand pass across to Lewis. Lewis streams in and finds Ashanti Bush. Beautiful disposal, and hit Ashanti Bush right out in front, 20 metres directly in front.
I think Chris Atkinson would have to be very happy with this performance from his team so far. They've really played as a unit, unselfish, composed footy.
Bush's kick on goal, straight through the middle, and another one to Buffs and another one to Bush.
No doubt about that one. That's 4 goals to Ashanti Bush. So the score changing again. It's been a busy
goal for goal.
Quarter,
Ellis and Bush.
Absolutely. So
in a little competition.
9-6-60. St Mary's 4-3-27. 9-minute mark. So that was only 1 minute it took them to get that goal, or under. Molly Althouse with some great hands there.
But look at all the numbers around the contest. So Saints have got 4 or 5 on 1 there. There's going to be an out number, and sure enough, there's a couple of spare players in the goal square. Could have gone to a couple there. Shanti Bush was good enough to take the grab and kick the goal.
So from the restart, Dew this time wins a hit out. Oh, kicked off the ground, and Buffaloes go forward again. Kernoth comes in. She gets tackled high, and she'll take the free kick here.
Smart kick off the ground there from Kira Kernoth,
yeah.
And then follow it up and get the front and centre and win the free.
So Kernoth picks herself up now and kicks the ball inside forward 50. Althouse used the body and made position, but couldn't take the mark. But Bush is there again, has a flying shot on goal, but
another
just drags
one-handed
this one.
pick-up. How good is she?
It looks casual, and people looking on and just think, why doesn't she go with two hands? But you know what? It works for her, and that's her natural game, and her instinct is to go one hand, and then she's ready to bounce or kick. And
she's so good. Like she just makes it look so easy. So that score now, Darwin Buffettes 9-7-61, leading St Mary's 4-3-27, and Eliza Shannon with the kick in for Saints.
So he goes straight up the ground where she's got a free player there, and it's marked by McMurtry at half back. She's was looking to come to the grandstand side, but kick wasn't the best. Hazlitt comes in over the ball now. She picks up, gets a hand pass forward. Dew using her body. Coombs gets it out, but quick kick out, and it's chopped off down there by Ponta for Saints. She brings the ball closer to the wing. Reaching over the top was Anderson. Almost took the mark, but it's Buffs with the numbers. Anderson for Buffaloes drives the ball forward close to the boundary line. Kept it in, and Anderson's followed up well. Kicked inside forward 50, and Bush takes a diving mark.
And this is why they're a finals team, folks.
Yep.
Oh, and they had a couple of free players. That kick wasn't to the best advantage of her teammate, and gave Saints the opportunity to work back. And now Anderson for Saints gets a clearing kick out. Ponta's in there as well as Dunn, but none of them could get their hands on the ball before it went over the boundary line.
In my opinion, the only team that's really pushed Pint has been the Darwin Buffettes. They're the only team that have got really within a sniff. I think 2 points they went down by in one of the games prior to Christmas. And you can see why today some of their passages of play have just been phenomenal.
St Mary's, I think they lost by 9 points in one of the early rounds, but they had that full-strength side with the VFLW players who, of course, they're missing at the moment. But, yeah, Pints have certainly been the best team in the competition all season.
Just going to have another attempt at the boundary throw in here. And, yeah, again, that's gone over the top of the rucks, but nicely taken down there by Althouse. Got the hand pass across.
Not again.
Welcome to the Ashanti Bush show.
And I hope she lines up here, because I know she's got some players she can kick to, but when you're on, just go for it.
Yeah. If you're having a day out, just make the most of it.
Looks like she's sitting this one. It was going close to the line, but off hands it's knocked through for a behind.
I mean, she could have pushed back a little bit further there, Ashanti, and really lined up. And I know she's not a booming kick on goal, but when you're having a day like this, it's the day where those sort of goals go through.
Niven to bring it in for St Mary's, brings it towards the grandstand side. Nikki Roberts read that well over the back, chips it in, and Bush, a bit too casual. She's hand passed off this time. Eliza Shannon's done well, despite some pressure, and picked up there by Slewinski for Buffs, and they're just forging ahead now, pressing that advantage.
Yeah, and it was always going to be the case that Saints were going to run out of legs. You look at the team that Buffs have got. They're a fitter team. They're quicker. They're smaller. But it just means now Saints are going to have to do a bit of gut running, Cruzy, and show a little bit of heart here to run this game out, and a bit of pride on the line. They've got a second chance here. That either way, both teams are going to be continuing on in the final series. So it looks like Buffs will be playing Pint in the next round, and Saints will be playing Nightcliff, which will be interesting to see how that pans out for the next round of finals.
Yeah, absolutely. So that score now, Darwin Buffettes 10-8-68, leading St Mary's 4-3-27, and just watching the Buffs runner Melinda Taylor down there. She got life membership at Buffs on the weekend at their presentation for the amount of games she's played, but she actually started her career at St Mary's. So, yeah, she had a very long career in the NTFL, so congratulations to Mel.
Althouse won the hit, took it herself, and now it's Lewis streaming forward for Buffs again. Niven again read it well, come off her player and picked up, but she's under plenty of pressure from Bush down there, and in fact the tackle's rewarded, and Bush will take the free kick on an acute ankle. She's got a free play here, Mickey Roberts.
Yeah, why wouldn't you go to Mickey Roberts, ex-AFLW player at Collingwood last season? Yeah, just sized it up well. Swiveled her head, had a look, and hit the kick on the 45. Not an easy kick.
No, it's not. It makes it look so easy. Well, they're on song now, aren't they, Buffs?
Mickey Roberts directly in front, kicking from about 30. Kicks on the way now, but she's just pushed that one out to the left and are behind only.
One a positive for St Mary's is they've got a lot of juniors coming through. They finished on top of the ladder in the under-18 girls, so they've got the week off this week, and the under-18 boys finished on top of the ladder. So as that kick's gone out on the full by Laurie Niven, but you know, positive signs. St Mary's had a pretty ordinary last season, and they've, you know,
turned it around
through the hard work of their coaches. So they're still in the finals race. They have had quite a few injuries, but if you're in it, you're in it.
And they get to regroup, and like you say, they've got a couple of players from down south who might then be flown up.
Lucy Lewis's kick went right to the goal line, but Saints were first back there and chasing it out of defence now. Stevens kicks off the ground in front of herself, and
I think it might be, is it going to be a throw-in? I think the Buffs
should be, because it was
right
the
on the 50.
What do you think, Cruzy? Are the chances of a couple of interstaters coming up from down south next week?
I don't know. I'd love to see Ash Melnikas and Megan Williamson back. They were just unbelievable in the first eight rounds. They're the difference, you know. And St Mary's had Danielle Ponter at the start of the season, who obviously won't because of her Adelaide Crows commitments, but Annabelle Shannon's another one that's still in the mix, the sister of Eliza. So yeah, I mean,
plenty to come back for next week.
That risk, you know, having those players at the start of the season just improved, you know, training and the game for St Mary's. But then, yeah, when they do go out, which was always probably going to happen, and the VFLW did start a bit earlier than usual, yeah, it has kind of hurt them at this end of the season. But all credit to Jared Eilert and Danielle Chisholm for turning the fortunes of the Saints women program around.
So the Buffs looking to go forward again on the outer side of the ground. Duggan underneath, that one gets a hand pass back. Roberts with a quick kick forward. Bush is lurking again, but this time she's covered by Peris. Peris keeps the ball out in front.
Izzy Porter just copped one in the face. Yeah,
she's not having a good day.
Rough day.
One of those days.
So Derouge therefore, Saints chops it off and kicks it straight up the ground, but only into the hands of Lucy Lewis at just forward of centre. She's directing players over towards the near side of the ground, but that kick's gone astray, and Derouge again intercepts. She plays on straight away, goes short to Shannon. Shannon takes the mark and runs on with a bounce. Her kick's smothered, and Lucy Lewis comes in again and chips in short. That's a good pass finding Gargan at centre half forward.
Everything going right for Buffs, isn't it?
Gargan kicks down and Bush once again just read it well and timed her jump, took a nice mark out in front.
If this was a grand final, she'd be getting that medal at the end of it, wouldn't she, for the best on ground?
She's been very, very good today. See if she can finish off all her hard work.
Kicks on its way. Of course she can. Yeah, she doesn't waste too much energy in her approach to kick for goal and gets close to the player on the mark, but proof's in the pudding, I suppose. She's kicked 3 this quarter now.
Yeah, I'm not going to be telling her Stu to change her approach because it's working so far, and she's a very effective player. Someone who we'll be looking for in our NAB League coming up for under 19 Academy. NT Thunder Academy will be heading down south to play some teams in the NAB League on the 28th of March and the 24th of April. So exciting times, and someone like Ashanti Bush is going to be right in the mix there.
Can I come? You got a spare seat?
Sure.
I'd love to watch Ashanti down there.
Fingers crossed, all going ahead with
yes.
COVID. Obviously, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's a day-by-day thing, week by week, but at this stage, they're the plans.
So that score now, Buffaloes 11-9-75 to St Mary's 4-3-27.
So Oldhouse and Duggan combining there to get the clearance, and Oldhouse's kick went forward, picked up there by Henry. She's looking to get it to Bush again. Bush uses it very well this time, but Peris was up for the challenge and worked the ball out of defence, picked up out there by Hanning. went by hands. Althouse through the hands again, and Henry drives it forward for Buffs as the siren goes to end the third quarter.
Yeah, 19.5 minutes that quarter was very high scoring, Heidi.
Yeah, a couple of goals kicked means time on, and a little bit longer in the quarter, which probably didn't help St Mary's cause whatsoever. There's a couple of girls down on the deck there having a breather. This will be a well-earned break for St Mary's, and they'll have to regroup now and reset for this fourth quarter and really run it out, because Buffs, I can see them really running away with this and absolutely blowing out in scoreline, and that's not what St Mary's want. We've spoken about the fact they're missing some players, but they'll need to dig deep here.
Yeah, and there's a great crowd in supporting Buffs and St Mary's, but and their men play later on today. But we'll go to the 3-quarter time break and be back for the final quarter after this.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel forever, yeah, feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down. Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for the final quarter of this qualifying final between Darwin Buffettes and St Mary's. It's all Buffaloes, 11-9-75, leading St Mary's 4-3. 27, Heidi. The last quarter of this game, obviously the second chance still available for the losing team.
Yeah, so I guess both teams are probably thinking they might shelve a few players here and rest a few, knowing that they're going to play next week regardless of the outcome. But I just want to mention a couple of players from Buffs. I know Ashanti Bush has had a cracking game and nothing taken away from her, but someone like Molly Oldhouse has done a lot of tough work in winning the ball, keeping her feet, getting it out. She never gets tackled to the ground. Just hard work every week.
Absolutely. So plays back underway, and Stu Davis will take it away with the commentary.
So Ponta doing some heavy body work in the middle there. Comes out to Simmons, who picks up. She gets tackled, hand passes forward. Ponta in there again against Dew, and Ponta works her way over the top of the ball. She's making like she's trying to get it out of there, and eventually it's a ball up. Sorry. Dew this time wins the hit out in front of Lewis, who overruns it in the end under pressure from Dunn. Again, it's overrun the ball, and Kylie Duggan drives it forward. That's a good defensive mark there by Peris, who brings the ball back into the centre of the ground. Anderson picks up. She's tackled straight away. Good hands, and now Saints the chance to run forward. It's Michaela Dunn a long way up the ground. She drives it down, and she's hit it straight down the throat of Emily Forshaw, who's moved forward in this quarter.
Jasmine Anderson's free right there.
Our
arms a bit too late.
Going crazy in the commentary. Catherine Dan with a great mark. She's having a good game today.
Jesus, and that was good movement of the ball by Saints on that occasion. They've obviously mixed things up a bit, shuffled the whiteboard a bit, and Catherine Dan coming out of the goal square takes the mark, and she'll have a shot at goal from about 25 out. Kicks on its way now, looks pretty good. Goal umpire likes it, Catherine likes it, and so the first goal of the quarter to Saints, and that was pretty promising passage of play there.
It was.
Perfect start for Saints. It's exactly what they needed, and I think just slowing it down when you get the mark in the forward 50, rather than going straight into the goal square, which is what I was calling here, just go, 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 but actually there were some runners coming through, Jasmine Anderson, and then that held the line for Catherine Dan, because it meant that space that she'd then run into. So really composed footy.
Yeah, as I said, from Cable Beach in Baroom, plays in the West Kimberley League, but has been playing for Saints for a few years and currently starring on The Amazing Race with her cousin Dwesmond. And aren't they great fun to watch on TV on a weeknight as we get back underway here at TIO Stadium. Darwin Buffaloes 11-9-75, leading St Mary's 5-3-33.
Free kick here in the centre. It's going to Tanya Dew. She's directing traffic out wide. She kicks it out in front of Hanning there, who runs onto it, picks up and hand passes forward. And now she's in the action again, but gets tackled this time. Lucy Lewis comes in to help. She's bundled out of it by Simmons. Slewinski in there as well for Buffs. Ball loose on the ground. Simmons drags it back in again, but Slewinski by hand out to Hanning, who chips it forward. Coming across in defence is Stevens for Saints. She's under plenty of pressure down there, and Duggan eventually got it by hand to Oldhouse. Oldhouse across to Remfrey, and Remfrey's shot at goal is good. So that's a quick response by Buffs in this final quarter.
Well, until that goal by Michelle Slewinski, I think it was, Buffs had only had 2 or 3 goal kickers. So Kristen Remfrey now joins them, but it's Ashanti Bush who's kicked 5 today, the story of the day. So they'll score now 12-9-81. Buffettes leading Saints 5-3-33, Heidi.
Yeah, it's good to see the Alice Springs connection chiming in there. Kirsten Remfrey getting a nice ball over the top, the handball over the top. She was totally free in space, and she actually had a player in the goal square as well that she could have handballed to. In Maddie Gargan. Yep. But went for it anyway and kicked the goal herself.
Plays for Rovers down there in the CAFL, so hello to everyone in Alice Springs that is watching, I'm sure, as we get back underway here.
Ball in the centre of the ground. Kylie Duggan regularly gets first hands on the ball in the centre square, and she did again then. But Saints this time bring it out of defence. Ball bounces and Anderson runs onto it here, ducks back around and now kicks inboard, but Gemma Iacono chops that one off at half back. She goes short to the near side and finds Nicole Schmidt in front of the grandstand. Schmidt going down the line along the wing, punched from behind by Shannon. First there was Stevens for Saints, couldn't take it cleanly. The hand pass came out, and Duggan again in there. Kicks the ball forward. Lelia Dunn running back with the flight of it, takes the mark in front of Slewinski.
2 players in the corridor there, Jamie Bryan and Charlie Simmons, but decides to go down the line where all the Buffs players are.
Iakono reading it well and gets the clearing kick, but it's not that well directed. Renfrey again for Buffs, but this time just too much use of the body by Oldhouse against Eilert, and pushed her in the back, and she looked one way, changed her mind and came to this side where Buffs have got all their numbers, and Slewinski will run onto this one. She tries to break the tackle, gets the hand pass across to Oldhouse. Oldhouse kicks long into an open forward line. Anderson working back on that one, but the bounce didn't favour her, and Paris clears straight up the middle of the ground, but there's plenty of Buffalo players there again. Mickey Roberts picks up, chips it in forward, and finds Gargan in a bit of space. And just needed better vision coming out of defence then. Saints just worked it into, kicked it into a nest of Buffalo players.
And when you got Mickey Roberts like that, you're not going to catch her. Charlie Simmons tried her best, but she's too quick over 3 paces and then kicked straight into Gargan. Lining up for goal now. It's fallen short.
Yep, it's a bit of a floater, and bounces over the boundary line. Out in front of Laurie Niven in defence again for Saints, but it'll be a boundary throw-in.
So 6-minute mark of this final quarter. It's still Darwin Buffettes 12-9-81, leading St Mary's 5-3-33. So getting towards a sort of a 50-point margin, but it's been a pretty good game, Tomo.
Yeah, up until now, I could see that it was probably going to blow out a little bit, knowing that Saints are undermanned and Buffs have probably got one of their strongest teams, except for Dom Carbone. Put her in the mix, and that would be their strongest team for next week. There's a couple of times Saints can just go in the opposite direction and away from density, but they keep going back towards Buffs players. Here they go. So they've got a rebound 50 here. Should be going out wide, which they are. Fantastic. Out to a free play, and they should keep going that way down the line.
They've brought it back into the corridor, and that's put them under all sorts of pressure as Slewinski takes the mark.
I think it's Michelle Ellis, and she's lining up for number 4 to try and catch up to Ashanti Bush.
Having a competition.
The race is on.
And
this is certainly within striking range for Ellis.
You'd be pretty happy if you were the Buffs coach with a return like that from 2 players.
Ellis comes in now, kicks on the way, looks good. Goal umpire didn't move, straight through the middle. And as we said before, Buffs just flexing their muscles now and getting themselves ready for a crack at the top dogs next week.
But not only that, just poor decision making.
Yep.
You win the ball in the pocket there, and obviously there was a fumble, and she's turned around and come straight back across goal. Even just a handball towards the boundary line would have been suffice there. You're not going to get pinged for the lasso. It's not going to be a free. It'll just be a boundary throw in, and then you get to reset. But they just needed to keep going that direction.
The safe option, absolutely.
Yep.
So it's the 8-minute mark of the final quarter here at TIO Stadium. It's Darwin Buffettes 13-9-87, leading St Mary's 5-3-33. You're watching AFLNT's coverage of the 2020-21 NTFL final series.
What's happened here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Warning to St Mary's, I think.
Get the setup right.
Not sure what that was for, though.
Oh.
Everyone seemed to be in the right position.
Anyway, we're underway again. Roberts in there and Lewis. Roberts runs onto it now. She gets tackled with the ball and penalised.
Coombs has been good for Saints. She's been one of their lone soldiers working through and tirelessly might get a 50 here to maybe win one back, Cruzy, and get a bit of pride in that scoreboard.
Alana is one of the most naturally talented footballers I've ever seen, I think. Eliza Shannon too, for me, for St Mary's, has tried really hard all day.
So Coombs looking for long on the lead, but Hazlitt chops that one off and clears for Buffs out in front of Lucy Lewis. She picks up now, ducks back around, or misses with the hand pass, but recovers herself and picks up, then gets tackled, and she works the hand pass out, a toe forward, but Mickey Roberts is going to be first there for Buffs, working hard on the ground, shoveled it out the back to Iakono, and Iakono kicks it forward, and now Saints again through Bryant. She wheels back around on her favoured left foot out to the outer side, and Dan advances the ball inside forward 50, but Iakono back there for Buffs goes by hand this time to Hazlitt. Hazlitt running out of the defensive 50, just chips it down towards Lewis there. She's hand passes out wide, misses the target, and now Saints the opportunity again through Porter. She gets it across to DeRouge. DeRouge goes long down towards half forward, but Oldhouse has worked back there and picks up the ball and chips it into Lucy Lewis, who takes a nice overhead mark. And
nice tempo footy here from Buffs, just slowing it down, hitting targets. Molly Oldhouse has got an option here out wide.
Yeah, she just overcooked the kick a bit, went over Oldhouse's head and went over the boundary line without being touched. So
Lucy's been good today. Lewis, formerly known as Lucy Adam, premiership player and won the Colleen Gwynn medal a few seasons ago and has had a baby and made a comeback, and she's been rock solid today.
Yeah, handy player to come back. Chris Atkinson has timed the run perfectly there with some of his players coming back from having babies and injuries and those sort of things.
So Saints have worked the ball inside forward 50, but Buffs look like bringing it out again. Hazlitt has the ball in front of her now, works back on it now, gets tackled, and plenty of Saints numbers. Picked up by DeRouge running inside 50, but just dragged the kick across, and the opportunity for Buffs to clear through Corrie. Corrie goes wide to the outer side, where Slewinski's on the end of this one, but her kick's bouncing out towards the boundary line and trickles over, so it must have been touched here. The umpire's signalling that it was touched, and it'll be a boundary throw in. So right in front of the TIO Stadium scoreboard on the outer side of the ground, and a scoreboard that shows Buffs are leading comfortably in this final term, and they're preparing themselves to take on the Pint Queen Ants next week. That kick comes forward and chopped off by Eliza Shannon for St Mary's in defence.
Yeah, big game next week, and St Mary's will take on Nightcliff in the other game. Alana Coombs, another beautiful mark in between two Buffs players there.
And that game will be an elimination final compared to the other game, which will be
a grand final qualifier.
Yeah, that's right, a qualifying final.
Yeah. It's been great having the broadcast of all of these games, and there's two more to come today in the men's competition. Very lucky with our football up here in Darwin.
Oldhouse on the outer side, got it by hand inside to Gonanon, but just missed slightly, and the ball's on the ground. Saints looking to try and work it out of the pack now. Kick comes across and paddled forward, and now the chance forward. Buffs through Hanning. She goes out wide again and finds Oldhouse at right half back for Buffaloes on the outer side of the ground, and she's just slowing things down now.
Yep, slow plays on. The message has got out there. We're playing tempo footy. Hit our targets.
Jazz Anderson just rotating with Bonnie Davey for St Mary's through the interchange here, as Hazlitt's going to get that all on her own there in the middle.
So they worked that well, switched it and found some space on the near side and worked the ball forward. But Laurie Niven for Saints, she gets tackled and bundled to the ground, and Ashanti Bush again. She's got a spare player, but that kick's just gone off the side of the boot a bit, but running onto it is Anderson. Anderson has a shot at goal, but she's missed that to the right-hand side as Laurie Niven's pretty slow getting to her feet.
Need to give Joe Anderson a shout out. He loves tuning into our live stream every week. The former Carlton player and Buffs player, and his wife Zoe out there having a good season for Buffs.
So she's on 16 goals. I wonder what Ashanti Bush would be on now with those.
I'm pretty sure Zoe
today.
hurt her foot at some stage too, so would have missed a few games. But yeah.
Must have really shared it around
this
season with the goals.
And of course Joe's sister Jasmine is out there playing for St Mary's, so lots of family involvement today across the board. That kick-in's going to go right near the injured player.
What can't she do?
Another fantastic mark by Ashanti Bush.
AFLW, sign her up. I'd love to go and watch that every week, wouldn't you? It's such an excitement machine.
It's just dynamic, unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get from her. She probably doesn't know what she's going to do. That's the whole point of that magic.
Natural, X factor.
Yeah.
So and you know what? That's what we see in finals, don't we, Stu?
Yeah.
With the X factor players that make the impact in the big games.
Yeah, we certainly saw that in the grand final last year, didn't we? And the play's just held up here because it's
Laurie
Nevins
in a lot of pain there,
struggling there, and
with the knee. You might have to get the stretcher out.
Too close to her. Yeah, this will take a while if they don't get the stretcher there.
Yeah, so 14 coming up to the 15-minute mark of the final quarter. It's all Darwin Buffaloes 13-10-88, leading St Mary's 5-3-33 at TIO Stadium.
I've got a couple of names down here for St Mary's who have worked really hard today. And Catherine Dan has had a fantastic game. I thought worked really hard up the ground. Jamie Bryant's been working well in the middle of the park as well as Alana Coombs. But you can't rely on... I know Porter had a great game last time we called the action for St Mary's, but you just can't rely on one player to be standing up week in, week out and to carry the load of the team. So
we haven't really seen her after three-quarter time, have we?
Yeah, and she probably hasn't had a lot of impact due to some knocks that she copped in that first quarter, and she never really kind of came back from that. But you can't rely on that as a core group. You can't rely on just one player, and that's where Buffs really have stood up. Dom Carbone missing in the middle of the park, but you wouldn't have even noticed today. They've got other players who are quite capable and competent that they can rely on, and their list is quite deep, really, with those under-18s coming through.
Yeah, that's right.
And if we look at the Buffs lineup, obviously Ashanti Bush is far and away best on ground, but the likes of, I think I've mentioned it already, Molly Althouse, who's another under-18 player, Kira Kernoth, another under-18 player who's come through the ranks, and then Michelle Ellis coming through and being able to have some scoreboard pressure in the forward line, as we see Laurie Niven just being assisted off the ground. I think it does show the depth of talent that the Darwin Buffettes have got.
And they were so dominant for the last 3 or 4 years in their under-18 women's, and it's showing through now, and they're reaping the rewards, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you want from a good footy club. They'll be able to develop their talent at a junior level, and that's what we were talking about before with St Mary's. Under-18s on top at the moment.
Another chance for Buffs here, and just fell into the hands of Delcia Wang in the goal square, and she just turned around and chipped it through for another Buffaloes goal in this last quarter.
Like, could have blazed away there, Stu. Could have just had a crack and missed, but saw the option in the goal square. Delcia was there all by herself.
Very experienced player, Dels, and another goal to Darwin Buffettes, 14-10-94, leading St Mary's 5-3-33, 17-minute mark of the final quarter here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. So the next game coming up will be Buffs and Waratah, Stu, is that right?
Well,
in the men's, and then St Mary's and Wanderers after that, with Nightcliff finishing on top of the ladder and having the week off.
Yep, 2 terrific games coming up.
Yeah.
And, of course, the first one is an elimination final, so everything on the line for those two clubs. Dew wins the hit out, but taken by Dunn. She kicks high in the air and copping a bit of a whack across the head there was Kira Kernoth, I think.
She's copped a couple today. She's her body
the
on the line.
She's always in the action, loves to tackle, loves to be aggressive and physical, and you're always going to cop a few when you're in and under, that sort of player.
That's what you want in
Spotted
finals.
Up Kirsten Remfrey here.
Just missed with the kick one, yeah. But
might work out okay.
Done out there by Ellis. And through the hands, and Henry onto this one. Back to Ellis. Ellis hooks it deep into the forward line. Oh, it bounces. Ashanti Bush has run onto it.
Do not tell me.
Oh, what a game.
Believe it or not, she's kicked another goal.
What
right
a game.
Place, right time. It actually came off one of her teammates, the back of her legs, and just rolled straight into her lap. And when you have a day like this, a day out, Cruzy, the ball just ends up in your lap, and
yeah,
you can kick a goal.
You kick 6 goals.
Yeah, that's right. Kick a bag.
6 goals to Ashanti Bush is the story of the day here at TIO Stadium. It's Darwin Buffaloes 15-10-100 to St Mary's 5-3-33. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, dominant performance. But Ashanti Bush just crumbing her work there at the bottom of the contest.
So 19-minute mark. It'll be a long quarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, all Darwin Buffaloes. So we'll be looking forward to some great games next week as well.
So from the restart, no clear possession out of there. Is Saints trying to work it out. It comes out the back of the pack now, but no one can pick it up cleanly. And it's forced back in. well, flicked out, and now Saints with the opportunity through DeRouge, kicks it straight down the ground, but chopping off across there was Stokes. Got the hand pass out, and now St Mary's through the hands. Anderson eventually on the end of it for Saints, but she's bundled out of the way. Mickey Roberts fighting for the ball in there, works it out the back. Anderson taps it forward, but free kick's been paid here as Slewinski was held without the ball.
She's been a real improver this year, Heidi, Michelle Slewinski.
Yeah, she's looking fit. She's done a whole heap of work in getting her body in great shape, and she's got a nice left foot boot. Hits up Kylie Duggan straight down the middle of the park.
Just plucked it out of the air.
Michelle Ellis.
Ran straight on,
Wow.
and Ellis takes a great mark against a couple of opponents.
Sharky's
Goes back
looking for it.
Ellis, a beautiful kick, and hits Delcio Wang on the lead out in front. So some clinical stuff there by Buffettes going forward. And she chips inside to Kylie Duggan, who
Gives it off
marks
to the
some
captain.
space. She plays on straight away, kicks towards goal, and puts it straight through the middle. And yeah, Kylie's had a terrific game as well. As I said earlier, she often has first hands on the ball in the centre, and her and Molly Oldhouse have combined really well in those centre bounces.
Yeah, underestimated player, I think, because a lot of people don't see all the work she does off the ball and just getting in there and the pressure, the running that she does, the two-way running, but then capping it off with a goal today was quite nice to see.
So the score now is, I can hardly read that, 16-10, 106 to St Mary's, 5-3-33, dominant display by Buffs.
Sending a message to Pint. A couple of the girls are here watching the game.
And Ricky Nolan, the coach.
Lelia done with the clearance for Saints this time. Davey runs onto this one, got a push, and then ran into Kernoth.
And then Kira Kernoth just ran away. So it wasn't me.
50 metres.
50 metres
penalty, so.
But the mark had been taken by Jazz on the siren. So it looks like Bonnie Davies going to have a kick after the siren. She's going to be told by the umpire to go right up there to about...
Yeah, don't waste any time, Bron. Kick it while there's no one back.
Yep, on the line.
She is taking her time.
Very, very experienced player, a trailblazer in women's footy, actually, Bonnie. So Sandful and the Northern Territory sides, and played for Melbourne.
Kick's not going to make the distance, so the score doesn't get affected. So a comprehensive win to the Buffaloes girls.
Yes, 16-10, 106 to St Mary's, 5-3-33 to advance to next week against Pints, Heidi.
Sets up a great week for next week. Yeah, Nightcliff, very dominant performance prior to this game, and Buffs, again, very, very dominant as well. And we'll be able to see the two best teams really play off against each other next week in Pint and Buffs. I think it'll be a fantastic match, and hopefully Saints can get a few more back. Maybe a couple of girls from down south back to really strengthen their stocks. But an exciting final series, no doubt, for the Women's Premier League.
We are very, very lucky up here, aren't we, Stu? A good game for you?
Yeah, look, it was a good game of football. Buffs just showed their strength, didn't they? And yeah, they're contenders. They're genuine contenders. So, yeah, really looking forward to next week's games.
Well, big thank you to Stu Davis and Heidi Thompson. My name's Liz Cruz. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the rest of the afternoon. There's two more men's games to come up, but in this game it was all Darwin Buffaloes taking that win over St Mary's.